What's up, Team Outlaw? Bob here from Outlaw Pinball, and today we are unboxing the Mandalorian Premium Pinball Machine from Stern Pinball. And the best part about this, we will be giving this exact machine away. So we're going to walk you through all the steps of how to unbox, set it up, and then remember, every 3 months, Outlaw Pinball gives away a pinball machine. So head on over to outlawpinball.com, claim your entries, and this machine right here could be yours. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is we're going to use the needle nose pliers, and we're going to grab all the metal clips out just so you don't cut yourself. So I'm going to go ahead and do that now, and then we'll move on to the next step. Okay, so all the clips are out now, and the next thing we're going to want to do is you want to make sure you find the side that says truck this side only. Now there are multiple ways to open and set up a machine, but this is my favorite. So I always open it up, and if you see here, you can see this side is actually the bottom of the machine. So here's the coin door, and this is the top of the machine. So what we're going to do is we're going to cut down on each side, and we'll just expose that machine from here. So full disclosure, be careful with a knife, and be careful that you don't cut anything on the inside of the machine. So the next thing I always do is I'll pull this out and open this, and here are your brackets for your legs, and we'll just get those out, kind of set them down carefully, and then we'll do the same for this one over here. And now you see we have a nice little work area where we can start to attach the legs, and then we'll go from there. One important side note is there's a strap here. Make sure you keep this strapped until you get everything set up, because it's actually holding the back box onto the cabinet. All right, so there are, if you look in here, there are 2 lag bolts on each side, and these will actually attach your legs to the machine, and this is the front of the machine. So we're going to take those out, and then we're going to reattach the front legs. So now we have the legs out of the plastic wrap that came on, and these are the front legs. So we're going to keep them all the way down. You can adjust this if you want, and you can bring it up, and we'll do that for the back legs. But for the front legs, we like to bring them all the way to on the down position. So we'll just go ahead and attach this, and it's really, you just take those lag bolts and put them back in right where they came out of. Okay, we now have the legs on, the front legs, and we're going to actually just tilt this down and bring it all the way down, and we're going to remove the box from underneath it in a couple of steps, but it's pretty easy. Okay, so now that we got the box out of the way, there's one step I didn't include, but I took a stool and I picked up the back. I picked up the back end, and then I just lightly put that stool onto there so that we could attach the rear legs without them hitting the floor. So now what I'll do is I'll repeat the process that we did on the front, and we'll take the lag bolts out, and then we'll reattach the rear legs. So now we're going to put the back legs on, and we need to adjust so that the tilt is appropriate. And this is a ballpark thing, so I usually put mine about 3/4 of the way up, and then there is a leveler on the machine that'll give you that 6.5 to 7 is what most games recommend, and then you can always adjust. There's no right or wrong reason. It's a per player thing, so if you like it a little faster, make this a little more steeper. If you want a little more floaty feel, obviously lower this down, and we'll go from there. But now we got that adjusted and tightened. We're going to start to put this back on and attach the legs with the bolts that we just took off, and it's a pretty simple process. Okay, so now that we got the machine all set up on the legs, we're going to take this off, and feel free to read through that. We'll always read through it later. And then we're going to get into the key box, but now it is safe to go ahead and cut this, because what we're going to want to do now is the next step is raise the back box up and attach it to the cabinet with some more bolts, and those bolts are inside the coin door. So I'm going to go ahead, and again, you want to be kind of very careful with this because there is some tension here. Safety glasses or whatever disclaimer you need. Okay, so now we get into the machine. There's a pin that holds your coin box in place, and then you'll carefully remove the coin box, and there are some goodies in there. Now your other set of keys here that are actually for the back box, a lot of people just take and put those right in here, and that way they're always accessible, and then they'll do something with these keys to save them in case they need to get in, but then they only need to know where one key is. Okay, so looking in the coin box, here is the power cord. So we'll get that ready. And then here are your balls, your tilt bob, and your back box bolts. Okay, so now we're going to put the back box up in its final position. When you do that, you want to be very careful with it, and then also make sure all the cables go down and nothing gets pinched or you're not forcing anything. So I like to take things very slow, and you can see it just kind of feeds into there. They have a pretty nice guide, and then this lines up just like so, and then you will attach the two bolts that came in the coin box. Okay, so now we got the cabinet all the way put together. The back box is secure. We still need to hook up the power cord, but there are usually some paperwork that comes along. So you just kind of carefully take those, and we'll set them aside for later. This is actually the instructions, which are very nice, so that you can hook your game up to Insider Connected, and then it will do auto updates and wireless updates for the game code, which is very nice. Next, what we're going to do is, as you can see, there's some protective material here protecting some of the toys. So we're going to slide the glass off, And then we will take this protective check to make sure everything's nice and solid. And then we'll also put the tilt bob in and put the balls in. So now we're going to take the glass off. So on the new sterns, there's a clasp on the right and a clasp on the left. And you can close this. This lock bar just slides off like so. Then you can just slide the glass right out and put it somewhere. Okay, now we got the glass off. Now we can go in, take off our protective materials, do a once over to make sure everything looks good. Then we'll lift up the play field and we'll actually put the tilt bob in, and then we'll put it back down, put the balls in, and we'll get this thing ready to go. This machine is crazy. It has some awesome mechs. Super excited to shoot it. Okay, now we're going to go ahead and put the tilt bob in, and the easiest way to do that is you just pull up right here. It's on rails, so you just pull out, take both hands, it slides right down. You can actually, this will rest on the back box, and you can see, if you look down in here, here's your service and all that other stuff, some stickers. We'll leave that in there for whoever wins this machine. But your tilt bob goes right on this, right over here. And we'll go ahead and put that on quick. So it just slides up, and the higher it goes, the more sensitive it's going to be, because obviously it's when this rotates. So I always set it somewhere in the middle, and then you can always adjust. Again, this is a personal preference thing. So and the last thing you want to do then, before you put the glass back on, is put your balls in. And as you can see, there's always a little, on the newer sterns, it says how many balls to put, and it's right there in that bottom right hand corner. So we'll get these out, and I actually I'll put them in a nice little cloth and just give them a good cleaning before I very gently just put them on the play field, and they'll just load up. And you just reverse the process of taking the glass off. So this very carefully just slide back in there, and then you'll have those two lock bars, and you want to make sure they catch. Or two latches for the lock bar, I should say. And then your game is ready to go. It's ready to put the power cord on, and we're ready to connect it to the internet and update to the newest code. So we'll go ahead and do all that, and then we'll cut when we're ready to play a game. Okay, now we're gonna power it on. We have it plugged in, and here it goes. After it powers on and runs through its thing, we're gonna go ahead and set up the Wi-Fi and hook it up to Stern Insider. Okay, now we have the game all set up and we are ready to go.